All right, kiddos, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to put up a problem, and I'm going to ask you to solve it. After you write down the problem, I want you to pause the video and see if you can solve it without my help. When you're done, then unpause the video and see if you get it right. So when you hear me say pause, I want you to pause the video, work out the problem, and then unpause it to check your work. Ready? Let's go. Here's the first problem. All you need is a piece of paper, so you can pause right now if you need to and go get a piece of paper and a pencil. Here's the first problem, number 1. 8x plus 9 plus 10. Combine the like terms. Pause. 8x is the only term that's an x term. The other ones are constant terms. These two are the ones I can put together. This is a positive 9 and a positive 10. So the 8x stays outside, in front, and 9 plus 10 is 19. Anybody get it? Good job. Here's number 2. Ready? 1 minus 5n minus 7n. Pause. Now you have to remember that when we split our terms, we split them after the number or after the variable and before the next addition or subtraction symbol. So the split is really here and here. So the 1, again, this time, the first number again, is all by itself. There are no other constant terms. But I do have a negative 5n and a negative 7n. Things that can go together are these two things right here. Sing in your head, same signs, add and keep. So negative 5n and negative 7n become negative 12n. And then our poor little 1 out front, he's still out there. Anybody get it? That was a tricky one. Let's move on. Third one. 8 plus 7 parentheses 7n minus 4. Pause. The first thing you have to do is you have to distribute the 7. Now I'll bet you there were a good number of people that put the 8 and the 7 together first. But PEMDAS, if you remember, PEMDAS says do what's inside the parentheses first. Well, 7n and minus 4 are not like terms, so there's nothing I can do with those. Exponents, I don't see any exponents in this problem. So the next thing I have to do is either multiplication or division. So you have to recognize this multiplication by 7 that's happening. And that's what tells you you need to do times the 7 before you can do the addition with 8. All right? So we're going to distribute that 7 to inside those parentheses. And poor little old 8 stays out front. Again, we've got this number out front. They seem to like this on these examples. 7 times 7 is 49. So I have 49 n's. And 7 times, remember that we're looking at this like a negative 4. Odd number of negatives is negative. So minus or negative 28. Now do you see any that are like terms? I've got constant, and then I have a 49n and a minus 28. Here's another constant term. This time these two are going to be combined. Different signs, subtract. 28 minus 8 is 20. Keep the sign of the larger number, negative 20. And then I have 49n. Now in some of the practice we're going to have you do, we're not going to want you to write the variable term last. Here's a good example. Both of these have the variable term last in the answers. If I wanted to, I can put that first, but I just have to remember I have to bring that sign with the variable term. So this is the same as negative 12n. And what's the sign on the 1? Positive, so plus 1. If I want to write the 49n first, I have to bring that sign with it. 49n is positive. Well, when it's first, we don't write the positive sign. I know it's so weird, huh? And then I want to write the negative 20. That's a negative 20, so I have to write minus 20. Okay, here's the fourth one. Now remember, you can pause at any time and go back and rewind something if you're not quite sure if you're following. So I ask you, I'm begging you, please go back and replay if there's something that's very confusing until you can try to figure it out on your own. We're asking for a lot of independence here, so you're going to have to be patient with yourself and go back and look again. Here's the next one. 10x minus 7 plus 8x. Pause. Okay, I'm going to split these where I need to. I'm going to look for the things that I can combine. I have x terms here and x terms here, and they're both positive. 10 plus 8 is 18x. And then the minus 7 is the last thing I've got here. How many people got it? Not so bad. That one wasn't really bad at all. Not compared to the one before it, right? Let's try number 5. This one's going to be trickier. Pay attention to what you're doing. 2 times 8x plus 4, that's all in parentheses, plus 5. Pause. First thing I have to do is I have to distribute. Remember, we talked about PEMDAS before. If I can't combine what's in the parentheses and there are no exponents, then that multiplication out front needs to happen first. That multiplication happens first. Okay, so 2 times 8x is 16x. 2 times 4 is 8. I copy the plus sign because that's a positive 8. And then I have plus 5. I bet you see it now. You know what to combine, don't you? This 16x is all by itself, but then I have a positive 8 and a positive 5. Those are both my constant terms. So these two can go together, and I get 13, and then the 16x stays out in front. 16x plus 13.